Hi everyone, I've got a bit of a different video for you today because I honestly don't know what to paint. I've lately been going through a bit of a space marine binge, just painting random marines, trying to find a color scheme that I like, even tried my own custom color schemes. Nothing is really sparking joy. But I have a free evening. It's the perfect time to paint something. So in times like this, I have a box of... Oh, this is complete out of focus. A box of miscellaneous minis. Anyone with a 3D printer probably has this problem. You print out a bunch of guys and don't know what to do with them. So let me actually just move this camera up a bit and show you what I'm dealing with here. This is my random box of printed minis. So, some of these are very dusty. They weren't always in a box. In times like this, I like to go through and just see what sparked joy previously and see if there's anything in here that I want to paint. So, I mean, this guy, he was from Stormcast Eternals proxies. I can't even remember the name. Was this Gamak? I think so. Great mini. I started painting it, gave up. This is a beautiful wolf or werewolf mini from Artisan Guild. He'd be a cool little project. Look at that detail. So I'm going to go through this now. As you can see, I've got a lot of Artisan Guild. I honestly love the Artisan Guild sculpts. I've got ones here that I can't even remember where I got them from. I think this is a high elf range. Lord of the Print, maybe? I don't know. I've got some of my very first prints. This was printed on an Ender 3. This orc from Artisan Guild. Some of my very first printed minis. And yes, I know he's rough around the edges. He's an FDM print, but he holds a special place in my heart. Also, I love orcs. So I'm going to go through here. I've got like a half-bolt dragon. I've got a snake. And I'm going to see if I can remember why I printed these in the first place. What gave me that initial urge to print something else and maybe try and recapture that. A very different video to what I would normally do. But let's see what I've got here. Like this guy pondering the orb. Like, why did I print it? So after digging around, I found this. It's a delivery centaur. This is from Twin Goddess Miniatures. It must have been a long time ago that I printed this because I have not been a patron of theirs for a long time. Unfortunately, I let my subscription lapse and I regret it because, I mean, look at this. Their minis, if you haven't seen them, I'll put a link to their Patreon down below, but they have the most creative, cartoonish minis, and it sparked that thing of creativity in me because I remember I primed her in Wraithbone because I wanted to use contrasts and make her as bright and cartoony as possible. And since I've done that, a brand new range of contrast paints have come out. So I'm looking here, I've got like super bright greens, super bright pinks and yellows, and even like purples. I am gonna have fun making her as bright and cartoonish as possible. Let's just jump in. No plan. Let's just see what happens. I'm going to start off with her, I'm going to say skin, but I have to now specify the horse part of the skin. I was going to use a nice warm brown, like Gore-Grunts of fur, but unfortunately I just ran out. So I found snakebite leather. Yes, I know, leather for fur in a way, but I've got a nice large brush here. You'll see what I mean. I think this will work. I mean, this is quite... It's got a nice bit of warmth to it. So yes, it's a brown, but it has got warmth. Is that in focus? Yes, look at that. Oh, as I thought, the recesses here take the contrast so nicely. I'm not worried about that strap there. I will paint that with quite a dark color, most likely. So if I get a bit on the strap, I can always just go over with a dark color or just tidy up. I have learnt with my painting not to worry about the little things. It's just paint. I can go over it. And I suppose that's what I'm looking for today. is... See, I made a mistake there. Who cares? I'll go over it. I want to paint for fun. I've had a long day, a long week. But Captain, it's Wednesday. Yes, I know, it's only Wednesday, but it feels like a week. And painting is supposed to be relaxing. If I'm not enjoying painting my 40th goblin, why should I paint that 40th goblin? Why not just grab something silly, something fun that reminds me of my D&D campaign that I haven't played in months. Well, this is turning into a ranting session more than a painting session. So let me go along and finish this up and then show you, when I'm done ranting, what this looks like. And then while that dries, I've got here some wildwood, which is a much darker brown, and for this I will use it to paint her tail as well as the hair on her head, because it makes sense that the tail hair color and the head hair color is the same. I really do like wildwood. That is beautiful. So that's her tail, her horse tail and her ponytail. But as well as I put a little bit on the hoofy parts, the tufts of hair on the hoofs. So before I do the cleanup, let's do one more dark color, and then I'll do all the cleanup at the same time. This here is Garagax Sewer. It's one of the newer colors. I'm going to use this just for the wood over here. My reasoning is I'd like to see how these three very similar browns compare. Get a little bit more on my brush there. Get her into all of those there grooves. There we go. So we've got a nice, what do you call that, a chestnut brown, a more darker brown. Look, Garagax Sewers is very similar to Wildwood. So if you're in the market for some contrast paints, I don't know if I'd recommend both Wildwood and Garagax Sewers. Maybe. Look, I wonder why I chose the log though. This was for my D&D campaign, which at the time I was DMing. What was it? It was Waterdeep Dragon Heist. So obviously they were in the city of Waterdeep. And I printed this out because I thought my players would have a bit of a laugh, you know, see what the world is like having a Centaur delivery person next time they got a letter or a missive or an invite or something. So maybe I shouldn't have done the log, but the log's cool. It gives her a bit of extra weight, a bit of extra height, a little bit extra character. Okay, let me finish up this and stop waffling and then do the cleanup, and I'll get back to you in a few. And with the power of editing, all my mistakes have been fixed. And I have a cup of hot chocolate. Editing. Let me leave this hot chocolate right next to my paint pot, like my dirty paint water. That's going to definitely end well. Okay, moving on. See, this is what the painting should all be about. Hot chocolate, relaxing, just bright blues. I'm going to use this new paint, Frost Heart, for her, let's say for her uniform. I'll do something else for the backpack thingy. So got some on my brush, got some on my palette. I do know this is a bit of a thin paint, so I'm going to layer this on and see if it does need a second layer. So far, so good. It is pulling away from those edges, giving me a bit of a highlight along there. And I'll just focus on the top, as well as the hat, let's say. Makes sense for a uniform that way. So let me go along, get the top, tiny bit more on my brush, and get the little hat. I like that she's got pointy elf-like ears. So get some on there. You can see already it's pulling away from the brim, giving me that nice highlight, doing all the work for me, which is exactly what I want. Yeah, Let me go along, do this, drink my hot chocolate, see how it looks. I don't ever use that frost hard paint for like plasma effects. This is the first time using it on something as big as clothing. I say it's quite a nice color. I'll let it dry completely and see what it looks like, but for now I've got striking scorpion green, another one of the newer colors, and I'm going to use this for the delivery pouch. Yeah, let's leave that belt strappy part for a different color, but for the majority of it, you know what, let's just go over all of it. So that little belt strappy bit in the middle there can also be this green. You know what, it's my world, it's my mini, strap's green as well. In addition, the strap all along her back and shoulder as well. Make that whole thing bright green. We're going bright today. And while that dries, I'm going to get the skin done. I've got you a bit of a, let's say, a warmer skin tone. This is Fire Slayer flesh. Normally I do something like Gulliman's flesh, but I wanted something a bit more, there we go, a bit closer to the color I used for the horse part. So I'm going to go around, grab all the skin, and see how it looks when I'm done. I actually don't think that looks half bad. Let's just grab something black. This is Black Templar, a very grimy old pot of it. And this is going to be for the strap down here. I may have a bit too much on my brush. Yes, I do. Let's get a bit less on the brush. So for the strap down here, going all the way around to the little pouch there, I'm assuming some sort of money pouch. Going over the green so nobody saw that. And then also for the hoofies in that same black. And then finally, I need to paint that little piece of parchment there. And I bet you're thinking, wow, he's going to use something like Skeleton Horde to paint parchment. Well, you're wrong. Get that out of here. I'm using bright purple because it's my mini and I can do what I want with it. Bright purple parchment. Yeah, there we go. At this point in time, I've got a perfectly serviceable mini. It's okay, but I don't know, I'm not happy. I don't think I'm done with this. I've got a whole drawer full of layer paints here. Let's see what we can do. I'm going to start off with the blue because it's quite lumpy and I'm not too happy with it. I've got some watered down, what is this, Temple Guard blue. Let's see if I can layer this up, but I'll sort of use the lines as a guidance point, but also introduce where I think there should be more highlights, because honestly I don't think I applied that contrast paint very well. A little bit more there. I'll leave some in the recesses, but I mean, yeah, maybe it was just how I applied this contrast paint, but I'm not overly happy with it. I'm already much happier now with just a few lines, this Temple Guard blue. So you pick up all the high areas, especially things like the brim of the hat. Get a little bit more on my brush there. Yeah, this, I don't know, this isn't really an edge highlight at this point. This is more just layering up with thinned down paint. Half, like maybe a glaze a little bit. No, I think it's more like just a layer. I'm honestly don't have a plan. I'm going along and just adding this until I like it, and then I'll stop. I'm already much happier with that blue. But I'm going to take it further. Why not? I've got here blue horror. I've watered this down almost to the consistency of milk. This is very thin at this point. And this is going to be more of like an edge highlight. So very, very topmost edges, like the collar, where the light would hit. A little bit on the sleeve there. Yeah, actually looks quite nice on the sleeve. A little bit there. You know, I know this is almost a white, but maybe it'll lighten up, well, dry out a bit and sort of fade in. Oh yeah, there, that's a nice part. I very rarely use this paint because it is quite a sharp highlight, but almost glazing this on a little bit to see how it looks. Yeah, this is what I'm doing now. I've grabbed more light colors. This is Scarsnick green, and this is going to highlight the greens. Once again, thinned it down almost to the consistency of milk, and this is just going to punch up these highlights. I mean, the contrast highlights were serviceable, but let's just take them to the next level. I've done one highlight on the green as opposed to two different shades highlight on the blue, and I'm done. Like, there's no rule that says you have to do one, you have to do two. The rule is you have to have fun. There's your rule. You know what? Back to the purple. I like that purple. It needs to be brighter. What is this? Gene Stealer purple? Let's go. Watered down, consistency of milk, edge highlight, make that pop. Yeah, there we go. Leave some dark things in the recesses. A little bit on the edges, a little bit of that ruffle there. There we go. Bright purple parchment. Done. Next up, that hair looks like it could use some brightening up. I've got here a brown with a bit of red. This is Blood Reaver Flesh. I think I've used this paint once, but it's a beautiful color. Look at that. It's a nice warm brown. And you know what? I haven't done any dry brushing yet this video. I bought a brand new dry brush the other day. I'm going to use it. Is dry brushing the best thing for this part of the model? Who knows? Do I want to dry brush today? Hell yeah. So, I'm going to dry brush the hair. It's actually quite nice. It's picking up the edges of the edge. Not what I expected. This is a very small dry brush, so it's not picking up a lot. So, let me try some more. Okay, it's a little bit there on the edges, but I think I'm going to go further. I've got here some, what's this now? Baneblade brown. I didn't even clean my brush. I just added it to the brush, and I'm going to dry brush some of this, just to take it a little bit further with those edge highlights. There you go. Now you can see the difference. Look at that ponytail versus that ponytail. You can see it definitely has added a bit more of a highlight to it. I'm actually liking how this is coming along. And next up, I really want to do something with that the horsey part, but the body, let's call it. But I don't have a nice color to highlight that snakebite leather. So let's make one. I have here on my palette some snakebite leather, and this is some screaming skull. And let's mix it in. I mean, paint is paint. There we go. That looks like a nice color. Let's water this down a touch and glaze this on to the skin. Shame, it helps if I actually get it into focus. So let's do this side in focus now. Oh, let's get all the muscly bits. Give it a coat of this. It is thinned down a bit. I mean, contrast paints can mix with acrylics. And I had a nice tan on the Screaming Skull, but it was too light, so there we go. Mixed it, and off we pop. And the nice thing is, let's go one step further. If I want to make that even lighter, just grab even more Screaming Skull and make an even lighter mix. If I want to do a further highlight in some parts. For the skin, I've got here, this is what, Cadian Flesh Tone. Just, again, watered down for a bit of the higher areas, like there, on the top of the arm, where I missed a bit of green. That's a great place, as well as the face, on the nose, on the cheekbones, on the ears, and obviously the other hand as well, those knuckles, just where the light would hit to the top of that. There we go. It's looking good. Mostly I'm happy with the skin as is with just one coat of contrast. Honestly, contrast paint for painting skin is a massive time save. But there we go. Just a little bit extra and I'm happy. For that log there, it's too dry brushing again, but I'm going to do something different. This is a makeup brush. This is, what do I have here? This is Scrag Brown, I think. I grabbed Scrag Brown. Probably. No, sorry. This is Gawthor Brown. One of the two. Let's see. So honestly, I like makeup brushes for more of a soft dry brush. You can see it there already, how nice those edges look. But with something as textured as this, makeup brush is so soft, I'm almost like tickling it. Let's get it a little bit more towards the top bits, because it does look like some of the contrast paints accumulated there. But honestly, this picks up that texture really well. A soft dry brush. Honestly, this was from a local pharmacy. It was super cheap. Get yourself a cheap makeup brush. Changes how you do dry brushing. Look at that, done. Perfect. I'm happy with that. I've quickly done something with the eyes off camera. I can't paint eyes normally, and I can't paint eyes with the camera in front of me, especially, so don't look too closely at those. But there's something there. And with that, I'm done. Like, I think it's quite late now. I had fun with this mini. I started this video with no idea what to do, and now I've got quite a fun little mini on my hands. And I tried things that I wouldn't normally have tried. I've mixed contrast and acrylic. I've dry brushed with two different types of brushes. I brought out paints that I might have used once, like Night Quest or Flesh. I think I've used once. So yeah, this is the hobby for me. A cup of hot chocolate, a nice mini, and just enjoying my Wednesday evening, relaxing from work. So I don't know how to end this video. I didn't even know what this video was, but I had fun. So if you're still here, pop a comment down below. Tell me what you enjoy about the hobby. I'd be surprised if anyone did make it this far. But sure, go ahead. Put something in the comments to let me know you made it and tell me what you enjoy. And I'll see you next time for hopefully something that's a bit more structured. Cheers.